Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Mike here with the watch list video for Tuesday, May 2nd. I know I wasn't on the mic today, I was just typing. Um, Again, the grandkids gave me a hellacious sore throat, but I've been sucking on lozenges all day, so hopefully I'll be back on the mic tomorrow. The SPY kind of has a little bit of a top, at least maybe short term. If you look, it's come pretty quickly up to these recent highs from early February. I wish I could explain what's going on in the market, but it's just so freaking weird with these random Chinese plays popping, and you really got to be careful not to get FOMO in an environment like this. But there were a couple nice calls in chat today. One, Jacob D called out QH. It was on the morning gap playlist. Look at that ugly close, by the way. But he posted it in the first 5 minutes, basically back through the highs. 384 was the high. Opening range breakout is what he called after, within the first 5 minutes, which means over 384. And I mean, what? 10 minutes later, it's at 540 before coming back down and having an ugly daily candle. We don't care, right? We're day traders. It was a great call. And then NNOX, Kevin P talked about the lower high it put in, and he said, what did he say? You can see it on twos, right? Probably looked about like this when Kevin P posted the. I'm paraphrasing. I don't have it in front of me, but NNOX lower high. You can see it on twos, and that would there's the early high, 979. There's the lower high. Kevin P was alluding to 970. The implication is over that lower high, it could take out the high of day and squeeze, and that's exactly what it did. So the 970 break got you pretty quickly to 1168, almost $2, right? And those are the entries we look for, right? The entries we teach are the ones we look for. Didn't mean to do that. Try that again. Hopefully I'm still, yeah, it looks like it's projecting okay. So there you go. That those two were pretty neat calls. I got my best trades actually came in after hours on BAOS. I'm going to switch to after hours just to show you the reason I was stalking it. Again, I wasn't calling after hours trades in chat because they're too, I don't want to say too dangerous, but they can be, certainly. Liquidity's dried up. But these are 2-minute candles. Let me switch to fives even. Oh, there you go. So it had this big rip, and then if you look at it, then it's like, okay, everyone got long, got burned. But then by the closing bell, look what happened. It had come up and it had halted, I think, 20 minutes before the close. I was watching this after hours. And then let me add in after hours now, and you can see what it did. So that's the opening candle after hours, right? It basically opened at 16 after the closing at whatever it was, 1380. Sold off all the way down, but then started working its way back up. I took it, like I teach, out of the halt. I took it just like a morning gap play, a red to green, right? Because it opened at 16. I thought, okay, if it gets back through 16, could very easily take out the after hours high of 17 and make a run at the intraday high of 19, right? So you have stat catalysts and shorts in trouble if that happens. And look what it did. I mean, it just went nuts. Let me try to find my screenshots. All right, I found it. So there you go. As I showed you, I took it. I did a limit of 16 and I got a partial filler. This would have been a huge trade. But literally, my worst sell was at the very end when it started to come back down for $2. But really, really some nice gains there. And then I went out to finish cutting the grass, came back in, and noticed that it was down. I thought when it started to come back down, there was the earlier high right around 30. I like the fives buy zone. I wanted to go below 29. I wanted to go at least $1 below, so I went at 28.82. Let me slide this in now. Just to explain, another fives buy zone, whole number flush, retesting a breakout area and after hours, all those reasons had to bid at 28.82, got another partial fill. And actually, I got a partial fill, but I got a pretty good chunk of it. Went up a little bit, and then I went ahead and killed the rest. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to let this work. If you're wondering why I took 29.13 on some, because I had so many shares plus like 13, some weird number, like 13. So I wanted to get rid of the odd lot, so I got rid of 13 shares. I just offered them out, and that's why that first sell. But the rest of them were pretty nice too. So I had a couple really big after hours trades in BAOS. But I wanted to show them, not as a look what I did, but as I followed what we teach. I knew shorts were in trouble. I thought the first play over 16 made sense right there, and it did. And I thought the pullback to the 5 buy zone, retesting and probably flushing the earlier after hours high, and got a nice pop all the way to almost 40 there, but I didn't get all of that. Anyway, let me get regular hours back on here. And my voice is already starting to cave out, so I'm going to go right into what I'm watching for tomorrow. NNOX, let's go to the daily here. Nice breakout, closing off its highs. Definitely going to watch it. CDLX, same thing, kind of a breakout attempt today. WAFU, Chinese education play, closing way off its highs. I'd actually be kind of comfortable. Well, no, I'm going to keep it on watch. Some of these can go crazy, right? JXJT. I was actually watching this, by the way, in after hours. I thought over 12, this one could go too. It's worth noting this big volume spike still wasn't 1 million shares, right? But it topped out at 12 during the day, and I could slide over my small version with after hours on. It's kind of flagging below 12, so I thought after hours through 12, this one could rip, but it's getting too late for me now. I'm not going to try. I've had a good day. But anyway, that daily is going to go on watch. I love it over 12 tomorrow. GDC went nuts today, closing well off its highs, but just like top, we're going to watch it for a few days, right? BAOS, same thing. I already talked about my after hours trades in that one, and that's because shorts were in trouble on it. ELEV, recent high flyer, still showing strength. Excuse me, MLGO, you can't really see it unless I get that big spike out of there, so I'll scoot it over. Then you can see the big candle today. Zoom in a little bit more so you can see that it is high relative volume for the stock, but I had to zoom out all that other stuff. So definitely worth keeping an eye on tomorrow. That's MLGO. CHSN is another low floater Chinese stock with not a lot of chart history, so you could argue then maybe you could have room to run. URGN, I believe it had nice news today. Let me pan out a little bit here. Kind of see the breakout, but closing well off its highs. ZYXI, also kind of a mini breakout, but closing off of its highs. SECO, I believe, is another Chinese stock. Had a big rip back here and came all the way down to here, then had a second rip, found support, and then today they tried to get it going. We'll see. It could fall into that same group. And then COUR had a big pop Friday, quiet inside day today, looking for a third day play. Again, remember, watch your FOMO. Don't just chase any random one. On these Chinese ones, I'm putting them all on watch for a reason, because when I get one like BAOS that shorts keep trying to short it and they can't knock it down, and then it halts, in that last 30 minutes, and then they open, they're in after hours are absolutely worth watching. I'll still trade some of these if I like it, intraday too, but I'm mostly watching these for the after hours where shorts are in trouble. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, hopefully we'll find some gappers in the pre-market to add to this list. That's it for me. I'll see you in chat.